It is time for another viewer match, and what I got for you today is a Diamond League Terran versus Terran played on Proxima Station LE. Spawning in the northeast corner, playing with the blue Terran pieces, we've got the player known by the nickname of What the Hell. And his opponent spawning in the bottom left, saying right now, I think we already played yesterday apparently, but playing in red, he goes by the nickname of Cylon, and he is also playing with the Terran pieces in this particular game. Now, like I mentioned, this is indeed a Diamond League Terran versus Terran, so that does mean that both of these players should have a really good understanding of the matchup, and they should both be executing, at the very least, reasonable strategies. We'll keep an eye out on exactly what both of these players are going for. Now, What the Hell apparently already feeling demoralized right now. Ooh, even saying you will win, I think. That's not a good mindset to go by, sir. You really should be confident in yourself, in particular when you are playing StarCraft 2. I mean, nobody ever talks about the mental game in StarCraft, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a big chunk of actually playing the game. I mean, if you don't believe you win, I mean, I remember watching Jaedong way back in the day in StarCraft Brood War in particular. Whenever you saw the guy play, and for anyone unfamiliar, he is the most successful Zerg player of all time. Whenever you saw him play in televised matches, he apparently was always chanting to himself, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna kill him. And you can see it in his face as well. He looks so absolutely focused that it's very clear that he's already convinced in his mind that he's won the match. And I think that that is actually a pretty, now maybe you shouldn't be, chanting to yourself that you're gonna kill your opponent, but I mean, it is a pretty, important part of the game. Regardless though, what the hell are you doing? I mean, what the... Alright, he's going for a Ghost Academy at this point in the game. I was already wondering why he built up the double gases so very soon. There is no factory down just yet, and Cylon did just manage to get a SCV inside of its opponent's main. He should be able to check out that there's no orbital command down, and he should also be able to figure out very shortly that there is a double gas geyser taken here for his opponent. What the hell is going for a Ghost Academy outside of his main base? This is gonna be a little bit cheeky. Now, is he gonna go for, I mean, if you're gonna go for a cheesy build with ghosts, please make a nuke. Please make a nuke. Don't disappoint me and just get the cloaking field. Please get a nuke. We'll keep an eye out on that because the first ghost is already in production. What the hell doesn't really care apparently. He doesn't build a marine to try and shoo away that SCV. He is instead just building up that very first ghost, and I think that his opponent may very well be able to spot it. Meanwhile, on the other end of the map, Cylon has already started up a reactor here on his barracks. He's got that factory out, so he will be capable of doing quite a bit of work. But more importantly, he's also got a Reaper that he sent across the map that will most definitely scout everything that is going on. Now, Ghost reporting. Snipe. Successful. SCVs gone down. 2 kills already on the Stealth Assassin. Now, Ghosts, of course, are a very powerful unit. However, they are pretty straightforward to counter. Here's the thing. Did Cylon see what killed his unit? I mean, if he's, saving up scans, and it looks like so far he's not dropping the mule just yet, if he is saving up scans, he should be in a pretty reasonable spot. Personal cloaking is being researched right now, about halfway done already, but apparently the nuke is indeed being rushed out. There's an engineering bay going down right now for the player in blue. There's also one here for the player in red, so very shortly we should be capable of seeing... Oh my god, that bypass right there, did you see that? Very shortly we should be capable of seeing a missile turret as well. So maybe Cylon is going to be able to see this, but once the cloaking field finishes up, please queue up a nuke. One time, please. I mean, I've seen people do ghost rushes before, but sometimes they only go for... Yeah, no, he's already queued it up. Oh, he's already queued it up. I was going to say, sometimes people just simply go for the cloaking field and do some damage with that way. If you're gonna go for the, the ghost rush, you may as well build a nuke, and the nuke is indeed in production. Personal cloaking is out already. He will be able to start up more and more ghosts here, and they're actually pretty solid at defense. I mean, they can indeed go inside of a bunker as well, which is very uncommon, but what the hell, of course, putting all of his eggs in one basket, not getting himself an expansion whatsoever just yet. He's playing very safe, may even be able to get some siege tanks here as well to make sure that he doesn't die against anything. But as long as this supply depot is down, I think that... he may very well be able to get inside of his opponent's main base. Now, there is a missile turret going down. Already a single one right here in the natural. Yeah, there's going to be one on the outer edge right here as well. And I think that Cylon actually did not spot what killed his first SCV as well as what killed his very first Reaper. I don't think he's got any idea about that just yet. He's going in. The Ghost is going in. The Ghost is going in. The depot was lowered. The nuke is being deployed right on top of the mineral line. At this point in the game, however, Cylon is preoccupied. He is not checking out exactly what is going on here. There's a tiny little red dot, but if you're playing in red yourself, this could become an issue because the nuke is landing and the entire mineral line has been decimated. And Cylon says, fuck! He did not appreciate that whatsoever. Ghost apparently reporting now for duty as well in the natural here. I checked there, he says he heard of course that the nuke went down, but he's playing in red. Whenever you do play in red, you gotta hit Alt plus F to change up the colors right from the get-go, because you will not be able to spot that little red dot if you are playing with the red color yourself as well. But not all has been lost just yet. Double cyclones going inside of the natural here of what the hell? Oh my god, he's gonna be very careful there. Cylon is already on the brink of losing because he's only got 11 workers, but you gotta keep in mind, he does of course have the double command center ready to go, and while he's lost a lot, he can quickly rebuild everything just by simply dropping down a bunch of mules. That is the nature of Terran versus Terran. Ghosts are available right now. Of course, they still got that cloaking field as well. Look at the amount of damage that they actually deal to cyclones. It's not even that bad, although you should really go ahead and cloak though. Come on, you got the cloaking available. Please make another nuke, by the way. I mean, maybe I'm getting greedy here. I'm not entirely sure. I think he actually may have another nuke already ready to go. Dedicate, or, you know, as you can see by that little number right there. We'll keep an eye out on that, but... Ooh, this is starting to get a little bit worrisome. The Cyclones are picking up a ton of kills here, and while What the Hell was most definitely ahead here earlier, and he's gonna be capable of dropping, you know, quite a few mules here as well, this game seems to stabilize. I mean, Cylon is still ahead here in the supply count, right? It's 42 right now in favor for him versus only 35 here for his opponent. Also, he's of course got a pretty reasonable army. I mean, there are no upgrades available just yet. I would really have loved to see... Why are there a bunch of SCVs over here? Why are you guys chilling? I don't... What? How did you even get over there? I have... No, send them back, dude. These are like... This is like your lifeline right here. I mean, this is literally what allows you to stay in the game. Please notice that you've got a whole lot of idle workers. I guess he must have panicked and boxed a whole lot of them away from the you know, aggression right there. Cylon, however, will be able to spot exactly where his opponent is located, and he does indeed see the Ghost Academy here to the right-hand side of the map. Massive Marine siege tank army now also moving across the map. Of course, having the high ground advantage here is going to be a big deal, and still, these ghosts will have cloaking. They're going to be very difficult to spot. Now, of course, there may be scans available, but he's going to be able to snipe that tank absolutely easily if he so decides to choose. Of course, he's going to be able to snipe all of these Marines with relative ease as well. And a ghost army, it's one of those armies, right, that is generally speaking... pretty, like, underestimated. Like, how exactly does this fight turn out? I would have guessed that the Ghost got ahead there as well, but if you haven't played a whole lot of StarCraft, I mean, Ghosts are so uncommon, in particular in Terran versus Terran, that you may not realize how much damage they can do to a Marine-based army. You gotta need Stimpak, you gotta need to overwhelm them, you gotta need your combat shields if you want to try and take them down. Now, even though apparently the Ghost Academy here to the right-hand side was indeed taken care of, a new Ghost Academy has already been built. So I would like to think here that he's going to continue the Ghost production and hopefully continue the nukes as well, because the first one was most definitely very, very successful. As if he's still chilling down right here at the gold, I think this is the kind of game, though, that What the Hell really enjoys playing. I mean, he's basically thrown his opponent off, right? I would like to think, though, that... you know, if these Marines or if these SCVs were mining, he would have been in such a great position. But of course, Cylon has been completely thrown off of his game here. He's been desperately trying to claw himself back into this match, and I think that he assumed that he was very, very far behind. But lo and behold here, in the total worker count, it's currently 30 versus 30, and there is now also a Liberator moving across the battlefield, which could do quite a little bit of work. Quite a little bit of nuisance at the very least to his opponent. Once again, a nuke in production here, so What the Hell not done just yet. Building up more and more of those units, but with that third command center down right now, and finally the SCVs have been spotted. With that third command center down right now, Cylon is going to be able to get that economy advantage that he's been looking for the majority of this game. Plus, he's starting to do a nice little bit of damage right here with the Liberator. At the very least, shutting down a bunch of the, you know, a bunch of the income here from the natural. And, you know, I wonder really here what the plan is going to be for What the Hell. I mean, are you gonna move out with siege tanks and ghosts? I mean, I guess you could do that. But I think you're just gonna end up losing if your opponent just simply has Marines and you know, siege tanks out of their own. Because generally speaking, right, ghosts are not a cheap unit. More and more missile turrets going down right now as well. Third command center did just finish up. But Cylon playing a much more standard game here. However, another stealth assassin is indeed in this medevac right here to the eastern side of the base of the red Terran. He's going to be able to jump down into the main. However, a scan this time around was available, and indeed that medevac will not be able to drop and deploy the nuke that he was looking for, at the very least the ghost rather. That could have been bad though, that could have been bad. He needs to save up scans. Very smart play here, not dropping down all of the nukes. He's currently got 3 scans available. That is the kind of thing that you do need. A second medevac now also moving out here with another ghost deployed in it. You may be looking here to nuke this base, and I think this actually could be pretty good. Of course, the more bases you have as well as a Terran player, or as any player in StarCraft 2 ever, really, the more difficult it's gonna be as well, and the trickier it's gonna be to spot exactly which base is gonna get nuked. Sometimes it's gonna be your army, which you desperately are gonna move around, but sometimes it's gonna be the mineral line. If you've only got 1 base, of course, it's pretty easy to spot exactly what's going on. But when you've got 3, you're gonna have to click very, very rapidly. What the hell? Jumping down into the main base right now, using that personal cloaking once again to deploy the nuke here at the natural. Terran player in red, not recognizing it just yet. Of course, he will hear that the nuclear launch has been detected, and he does spot it this time around. He does spot it this time around, so there should not be a whole lot of damage that does get dealt. Command center does take a little bit of damage there. A new nuke is now also in production, and Cylon did manage to get on out of there once more, using the medevac here to snipe out exactly what is going on. Now, he could technically deploy a nuke here, I think, from the low ground, just by simply spotting with the medevac. Of course, Cylon, being a very peaceful god thus far, not sniping these units just yet. Smart little move, actually. Gonna try and see if he can kill the medevac that way, and it could potentially do a bunch of damage. But still, is there any stimpak available? Not only just now does Cylon, you know, get the stimpak down for about 3/4 of the way. At this point in the game, I mean, that's pretty late. That is most definitely pretty late. +2/+2 now also being researched here by What the Hell. And while the medevacs are desperately trying to fight each other, I guess that What the Hell is just simply going to drop off the ghost and try and get on out of there. Cylon may be able to spot that, but I think that the little blur did not give him the information there. And that little cheeky play may actually cost him dearly. I mean, there's a lot of army here. Another nuke is ready to be deployed. And Marines are still being produced here. But Cylon is going to be in some trouble if he once again does not spot all of this aggression. Double scan going down. I mean, if you want to be very obvious that you got a nuke out, ready to go, double scan is probably the best way to give it away. Oh my god. These Marines not paying attention at all, having no peripheral vision whatsoever. They do not see that there is a stealthed unit right there at the 3rd base location, and the next nuke will indeed land at the 3rd base. Lots more workers will end up going down, and Cylon has been completely thrown off of his game, trying his very best to macro up as big of an army as he can, but he's gonna be in a little bit of trouble. I mean, I guess technically speaking, Viking siege tank with ghost support is pretty freaking incredible. How many ghosts does he have right now? 16. 2 more just now finished. 16 ghosts are available. He's producing more and more nukes. He's already got +2 on these units as well, and that is a pretty staggering number. The thing is though, is it going to be enough? Stimpak is indeed done right now. There are also liberators available here in the sky. That does mean that while these medevacs are still looking around here for any kind of ghost, this one right here has already picked up 16 kills, and the rest of them are available here at home. Of course, he can force the unsieged as well, right? And at this point, I mean, these siege tanks are in a little bit of trouble. Ghost once again deploying a nuke here, but is it going to be enough? Cloaking field will be activated here. The scan is available as well, but you can see the amount of damage that these ghosts deal in a very short amount of time. Vikings picking up those medevac kills as well, and I think that What the Hell just managed to defend that I mean, that was actually pretty solid defense. That went way smoother than I had anticipated. Using those ghosts to force the unsiege rather, making sure that his opponent was not going to be capable of sieging up those tanks, and forcing him really to shove forward, using the cloaking as well to snipe as much here of that army as possible. And while the scan did do a little bit of damage, What the Hell for the first time in this game is truly pulling ahead at this point. I mean, it's 41 Harfestes versus 59. He's still not spending his minerals very well. He's got 2 idle siege tanks in the main. If he would move those, that is actually a very big deal. He doesn't have that many defenses here at home, but with those liberators now also holding the line here, I think that, you know, this should still look pretty solid for him right now. Next nuke also being built. 2 more ghost academies added on right now as well. So that means 3 more nukes will be in production. And I mean, I think that what the hell is most definitely playing to his nickname, right? Here's one thing though that could become a bit of a bit of an issue here in just a minute. You will have a hard time taking a 4th base. I mean, 4th base already in production here for Cylon. He's taking it at the gold base expansion. Likewise, by the way, for him, he's also got a lot of idle resources. I would love to see those all being spent, because really sometimes StarCraft 2 is more or less like a numbers game, right? All of these strategies are all fine and dandy, but if you're capable of just simply spending your resources and overwhelming your opponent, you should be in a great position. Currently though, Terran player in blue has absolutely no idea about this just yet, but once more, he's deploying a nuke, and this one is a risky one. This one is a risky one. There are so many liberators here available. So many liberators here. He's scanning. He's trying to check if he can find the ghost, but the ghost just barely does not. Oh my. That could have been so bad. If that army would have disappeared, Cylon would have certainly lost the game right then and there. That is about 50 supply worth of army right there. Maybe a little less, but that is a big chunk of the army at this point in the game. A little bit scary though. The Marines as well as the siege tanks have made their way inside of the natural here, but I think there are going to be plenty of defenses. Got to be very careful. These ghosts are dropping like flies, but eventually, with the personal cloaking once more, they will be taken care of as well. Little known fact, apparently, 2 ghosts can only go into a single bunker. I didn't even know about that. I was assuming it was going to be 4, but I guess thinking about it a little bit more, it does make sense that it's going to be, only a handful. Regardless, though, Cylon trying to, I guess 4 would actually be a handful as well. Huh. Never thought about that. Anyway, Cylon dropping off the 4 Marines that he had in this, or 5 Marines rather, that he had in his medevac into the main base. Apparently, a couple of these units are gonna be capable of shutting that down, though. And while a few SCVs do end up falling, this is most definitely a game here in favor of the player in blue. Here's the thing. Neither of these players are spending their money. If they would be able to spend their money, they would be able to overrun their opponent with ease. And that is one of the things that I've noticed about a lot of Diamond level players. If you are currently in Diamond League, right? Here's what I want you to do, okay? You ready? Take your notepads out. If you are in Diamond League right now, you want to improve, play the exact same strategies that you are, seeing at the pro level, but get really efficient at spending your money. If you are going over 1,000 resources before maxing out, you're making a mistake, okay? If you manage to keep your money down, you're going to be in such a good spot. Now, maybe you need to add on more production, right? I mean, as you may have noticed right here already, pro gamers, generally speaking, don't get any more than this off of this amount of bases. Well, they will get a little more, but here's the thing. Just simply spend your money in any which way you can come up with. More and more ghosts, however, are trying to engage this army, and there's a lot of nukes available. This is not going to be an easy fight. Ooh, the siege tanks, they're going for the kill, but look at this. The ghosts are closing the distance, making sure that the splash damage there of the siege tanks is not nearly as significant as it could have been. Trying to micro around here as well to that planetary fortress. All of these air units, though, being shut down right from the get-go. Planetary fortress will be able to deal a lot of damage to all of these Marines, and his army just absolutely gets demolished. Will the medevac be able to get on out of there? It looks like it will be capable of dropping into the main base here. 5th base also being taken for Cylon, but both of these players raking in roughly 3,000 resources each. I mean, imagine if that would have all been spent on Marines. They could just simply walk over one another. I mean, that would not have even been close. They would be then, they would have been near maxing out at this point in the game. And while they're making all these fancy moves, right, I would really love to see some more spending. And I guess what the hell, somehow, some way, is listening to me, even though this game was played in the past and casted in the present and will be uploaded to YouTube in the future. That's like 3 different kinds of timelines right here in this match. He is adding on a lot of additional production. Finally, he's also adding on reactors, which I actually really like. I would have loved to see him switch into that marine ball a little bit sooner. Going for those stim pack upgrades right now, as well as the combat shield, as well as 3-3 research right now. Apparently, a single mule has been given a duty right now to repair up that engineering bay. But both players really ramping up the production now. Same can be said here for Cylon, and by no stretch is he out of this game just yet. He's still got 5 mining bases. While his upgrades may not be looking as impressive here, it still all comes down to the final engagement. Both players are looking pretty even, and they're both ramping up their production. This is exactly what needs to happen in a game like this. What the hell, really ramping up the amount of Marines that he's getting right now. Gotta keep in mind though, he does not have stim pack just yet. It's gonna be about a half minute from finishing. I guess this would be the 6th base taken right here by Cylon. He's really spending his resources right now on getting as much here as he possibly can, but this is still going to be a little bit tricky. Without Stimpack, right? And you may have like +3/+3 done, but without Stimpack, this is not going to be a fight you can win against someone that does have that upgrade ready to go. Also, engaging into siege top tanks can be a bit of a, a bit of a hassle. What the hell, trying to get vision right now of this 5th base location here of his opponent, moving down towards the low ground, scanning up ahead, figuring out where his opponent's army is located. A bunch of Marines here at the front will be able to take those down with absolute ease. Siege tanks are making their way right now, and while that base may end up falling, this is still a very difficult ramp to push up into. What the hell, starting to spend his resources better here than his opponent. Siege tanks are trying to move in as well. These ghosts are taking care of the majority of this army. However, are there going to be enough defenses here for Cylon? He's desperately trying to scramble on with this army here, but I think that eventually, indeed, Cylon will be forced to GG out of this game. He says, nice threat, and I think that indeed, going for the ghosts completely threw him off of his match. I mean, whenever you're in that situation, right? Whenever your opponent is going for something absolutely wild, just try and think clear-headed. It can become very tricky to hold on in the game, but, the next time Cylon faces something like this, I think he will recognize that he flooded way too many resources, and he will be capable of simply just spending those and be totally fine. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this match. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. I want to thank you very much for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you in the next one.